Charlotte Motor Speedway. We've now been joined by our reigning champion, Joey Logano, driver of the number 22 Penske Ford. Joey, thank you for joining us. Obviously a big week in Charlotte between the All-Star race on Sunday and then obviously the Coke 600. You had an event earlier this week on Tuesday, a concert with Jordan Davis. Before we go to questions, just tell us a little bit about that event and the opportunity you guys had to raise money for the Charlotte area.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was our third annual concert for charity. We had Jordan Davis down there, which is an incredible artist, awesome guy, by the way, very normal person. You meet celebrities sometimes, you wonder what they're going to be like. He is really normal. So it was great to have that. We packed the house down there to have close to 2,400 people show up. So proud of the effort from the team to be able to put on an event like that. It's a lot of work to put on that type of stuff, but obviously it's worth it. We're able to raise a lot of money to help foster care in the North Carolina region, and yeah, it was good. You know, you have two missions when you go there, right? One is to obviously raise money for foster care, but the other is to hopefully inspire people to make that leap of faith, right? They're on the fence thinking about, should we become foster parents or not? You know, hopefully you can kind of push them over the edge a little bit to take that next step. And so that was the goals down there. Hopefully we achieved two of them there, and it's great timing, right? I mean, everyone knows this week's so busy with the so many different events every night. It seems like there's an event to go to and something to do. So our community does a cool job at making the, kind of Charlotte race weeks like Speed Week in a way, right? It's just always something to do every night, and obviously with the truck race last night and what we see tonight with the Xfinity cars as well.
All right, we'll go ahead and poll for questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We're going to get a mic to you. We're going to start up front here with Dustin Long.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Joey, how do you process what happened with your IndyCar teammates this past week and what they had to go through? And is there a concern of any type of residual impact of the changes affecting the NASCAR side of Team Penske?
Well, we're all one team. It's the way I've always viewed it. It's the way we love to support what the IndyCar guys are doing every week, and vice versa. And we're in the same building, so there is some shared pieces there. When we go to whatever manufacturing, engineering, those type of things, is some shared people there. So just when we see something like that, yeah, does it impact us? Obviously, it's going to. I think Roger's comments, was to sit down with Jamie was everything we needed to hear. And Roger came down and visited all of us. Visited the drivers and crew chiefs, but then visited the whole team in a Roger-type way, as you would expect. And yeah, at this point, it's unfortunate, right? But we got to move forward. Something happened, and we got to stay out the windshield, as Roger always says. Yep.
All right, we'll continue with questions. We'll go up front to Shane here.
Shane Connick, Charlotte Observer. Good to see you, Joey. So how Charlotte Motor Speedway, everyone talks about what a race we see at it, but when you look at the oval, bit of a rougher kind of surface. Obviously, you haven't been on it yet today, but how does this track compare to others, and what makes it such a great racetrack for drivers?
Yeah, I mean, it's become a great racetrack again. It was great, and there was a moment in time that everyone was kind of about it, and that's really why the Roval started. Now it's kind of like, oh, I don't know if we need the Roval. The Oval's fantastic. The racing that we see on this racetrack has been great. You look at the start of the truck race last night. I was up in the booth, and it was like, man, these guys are racing the heck out of each other. And it was really fun to watch. They're not wrecking each other. It's not like just cautions every 5 laps like some tracks. Like, it was a really fun race to watch. I expect the same here today with the Xfinity cars. And, the Cup cars have put on a good race here the last few years as well. So, it's challenging. You brought up the surface. It's definitely on a landfill. It's bumpy out there. 3 and 4 it's rough. It shakes the heck out of you, and you do that for 600 miles. You don't feel too good afterwards. So it's definitely a physical racetrack at this point.
And just last night, Corey Heim dominated that truck race. What is it that when you see someone who wins at Charlotte Motor Speedway and wins, especially a 600-mile race, what does it just say about that as the accomplishment as a driver?
Yeah, I mean, you want to win every race, and all of them, all the wins at this, especially at the Cup level, I mean, all of them they mean a lot because it's hard to do, right? These guys everyone's so good, and our seasons, right? If you can give a 5-win season, it's a pretty good season, right? So you lose a lot, so you don't really care where you get your wins. Obviously, when you think of the Coca-Cola 600, maybe there's a little bit extra there, right? As I kind of looked at this as one of the top 3 or so biggest races of the year that we have, just from a prestige and historic standpoint. This is a really special one to win. So, like to be that guy. We've been close before, but haven't quite gotten the old Coca-Cola fridge that they hand out to the winners. I get a picture sent to me before every race as a Coca-Cola driver. They sent me a picture of it, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I got it. Like, I want to go get it. I understand. Message delivered.
All right, we're going to continue with questions. We're going to go to Zach, and then here in the middle, and then we'll go to Pat in the back. Yep.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Joey, in what ways, you talked about the bumps here, especially now, in what ways is the Coke 600 still a test of man and machine?
I mean, a lot of ways, right? When we talked about, it's just long, right? But the track itself has become more challenging, which makes it even more physical for the driver, but also the car. Right? Getting shook around, things come loose, things happen, things can break. There's a lot of pit stops. Lots of them, right? There's going to be a lot of opportunity for mistakes throughout the event. So it's just trying to keep your head in the game and keep grinding it out throughout the whole event, right? So you can get knocked down and you have time to get back up and get all the way back through. And in today's day and age, that's really hard to do at most races because the cars are also similar and speeds are so similar. It's hard to make your way back through the field. But here there's opportunities to pass. There's opportunities to recover. And when you have a track that's just challenging where cars are running the very, very top at the wall, the bumps create a lot of opportunity for people to have these big moments and get loose or spin out, wreck. The teams that can just keep going, right? Just keep grinding it out and keep going. You can eventually find yourself back to the front. Yep.
All right, Pat, go ahead.
Pat Jaggers, MRN. Joey, just halfway through the regular season, can you just kind of take me through maybe some of the strengths, the weaknesses, where you're at kind of as a team and the things you'd like to work on as you progress forward?
Yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot right now. I thought at the beginning of the season our speed was pretty good, but our execution wasn't there. Now I feel like our execution's become better and our speed is still there. The last few weeks, it seemed like we were able to put everything together really, since Talladega on, we've been top 10, top 5 car, and putting ourselves in position to win multiple times, right? Whether that's at, obviously Texas, Kansas, we got ourselves to the front. We needed more speed there. But Wilkesboro last week, obviously the car was really fast there. So, we've kind of, I feel like we've cleaned up a lot of the execution issues that we've had. And now we're, I feel like we're back to where we typically see the 22.
You ask every driver about a specific race, they're going to say every race is important. But when you go to Michigan and Ford and what that place means for your all's team and Ford, how much of an emphasis is there really put on that race as an organization for you as a driver?
I mean, no more emphasis than any other race, right? And we try to win them all. It's not like we kind of say, this one doesn't matter. We'll just coast this one through. Like, it's not who we are. We don't do that because every race matters, especially with the playoff format we have. Every win, every playoff point that you can get can be the difference at the end of the day. So we don't really put more into any of them. I will say, though, the manufacturers take pride in that trophy that they hand out there to the winning manufacturer. So it's always a topic of discussion. We go up there early more times than not, and we go visit, Ford headquarters, and it's a topic that comes up is that they want that trophy in their main lobby when they walk in, people to walk by it. Yeah.
All right, if I can get a microphone up front to Kelly, and then get a microphone to Trenton over here. Raise your hand, Trenton. Thank you. We'll go Kelly and then Trenton. Go ahead, Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Two things, Joey. First off, we're in a stretch now where we're going to hit 3 intermediates over the next 3 races, and then we don't see one again until the postseason starts at Darlington. So this 3 weeks of Charlotte, Michigan, Nashville, Michigan, is this an important stretch for race teams to really hone in on what you guys have for the postseason, or is it we know what we have, like there's nothing left to learn for anybody?
I mean, there's always something to learn, right? Like you never get it figured out. I mean, everyone's over time with this next gen car is honed in on specific things that they know are needle movers with their car setup and fine tuning it. I mean, but you can see how the field's getting closer and closer and closer. as everyone, we've had the same rule package for a while, and the teams have had this, next gen car for a while, and team members have gone from team to team to team to team, bringing their notebooks, and so everyone eventually ends up running something fairly similar. And I think we're kind of at that point. With that said, is there things still to learn? Yes. Like, are we still trying to find the next little bit? We're always going to be doing that, but we're definitely on the fine point stuff, right? So the very small little needle that's like, yeah, gosh, that's a little better, maybe, right? Like, you got to stack up like 20 of those that really matter at this point. But yeah, I mean, it's it's not like you get to go test much and go learn any other way. So once you get past this stretch of races, then the next time you go to a mile and a half, you're going to be looking back at, Kansas, Charlotte, Michigan. Nashville's a kind of its unique kind of area of what that really falls into. But you're going to be looking at those tracks saying, okay, what's this? Where do we need to build our setup off of?
And then looking ahead to the inaugural trip to Mexico City in a couple weeks, what do you hope to experience with that race, or is there something you're looking forward to about going there?
I mean, I hope the fans enjoy it. I hope it's a good turnout. I think there's no doubt that a lot of times when you step outside of your comfort zone, it's uncomfortable, right? There's risk involved, but there's also high reward for our sport by doing this. Stepping out of what we typically do here in America and going international, like it's kind of a scary thing to do. Let's be honest, right? I think everyone in here probably has some concerns of how are we going to get there? Where are we going to go? What do we do? Like, I don't know how to speak Spanish. I don't know about you guys. Like, I'm going to be hanging out with Suarez as much as I can. I don't know where to go. So, I think, there's just the unknown factor is at its all-time high when we go there. So I hope it's all worth it, right? Because it's definitely a lot of work. I was at the NASCAR building the other day, and they had meetings, with the truck drivers and going over logistics on how they're going to get everything there. They don't do that for any other race, right? Like, this is a very specific thing. So, I mean, I think it could be great. I think NASCAR is doing a good job so far, from what I can tell, is covering their bases on making sure that there's no surprises when we get down there. We got to have our faith in them that they're doing their job, and it all ends up going well. So I'm sure it will, right? I'm sure it will. I think everyone's been down there enough and talked about things enough that it will go well. Hopefully the fans enjoy NASCAR racing. That's what I hope.
All right, Trenton, go ahead.
Joey, Trenton Worsham with FrontStretch.com. You've done this race before the stage era and obviously during the stage era. How have you as a driver adapted to the conditions of the race, before the stage breaks and after throughout your career to adapt to the current format of it? And obviously it's still hard on you guys, but do you feel like it's a little bit easier now than it was back before the stages?
I wouldn't say easier. I mean, I still look at this race and I say, geez, if you can have a fast car in Charlotte for the Coke 600, there's more points available than any other race you go to. So a fast car pays a bigger dividend throughout an event than anywhere else you go. If you get that special car, right, the one that's just lights out, you can really stack them in. If you have a bad day, it's double down on that too, right? So you hope that you got a good car from that standpoint. There's obviously added cautions in comparison to what there used to be. That presents opportunity for strategy when it comes to, depending on where the caution ends up. If it's a few laps before the end of a stage, one of those type of things, or just playing the stage cautions, however you flip those or whatever you do. It presents opportunity to stay more on the lead lap, right? Because there's more cautions. Typically a race this long, you'd probably have less cars on a lead lap, where the stages present the opportunity to wave or get more lucky dogs, those type of things. So the recovery factor is a little bit higher than it used to be.
All right. Apologies, guys. I'm not going to get to everyone's question with Joey, but our time with Joey is officially over. So thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate your time.
Sorry. That's not on me, guys, all right?
It's not on Joey, guys. It's on us.
Thanks.
We have a tight schedule today.